Hey, don't be getting amused. You're on air now. Please be careful. When you watch these videos, you're gonna be laughing, right? You see the way, the methodology where uh, is cutting. Uh, oh, this one. I think it's working. I think it's working because this one is just on the surface. Yeah, it's working. Yeah, thanks for. Yeah, thanks. I love it. You know, look. Hey, okay, you say, yeah, you must come to me later, and then we see how we're gonna sort that issue. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I told your peers, previous class, let's be serious, man. Do you understand? Because we are on air. When you are on air, you must behave nicely because this thing is exposed to 8 billion people in the world, right? When you got something on air, that means you are exposing it to 8 billion people. Imagine somebody look at this thing, watch this stuff, and say, where is this? Which school is this? The learners, they talking anyhow, they don't behave well. You see, we must show good example. You understand what I mean? It's not a joke, right? It's not a joke, right? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I know yesterday you missed me. Did you miss me yesterday? Yeah, I was having some urgent family stuff that I needed to resolve. Otherwise, I would have loved to be with you. But anyhow, I was always thinking about you guys, right? And that was why I sent you, I uploaded a lot of videos for you yesterday. You imagine we got more than 60 something videos. For those of you that haven't subscribed, you must subscribe. There are a lot of stuff for you. Yes, listen, focus. Right. I know last time we were talking about criteria used to identify the target market. Guys, hello, focus. This topic is very long, right? We need to accelerate. We need to increase our velocity. You know what is velocity? Speed, right? Yeah. But anyhow, we mustn't do it to compromise the quality of the lectures. I must make sure that you understand what I'm teaching, right? Because first time you made me proud, you did well, which is great. So we said you must know your target market very well, right? Know your target market so that when you want to market your product, you should know how to market it. Right? Whatever marketing strategies that you want to implement, knowing your target market will help you to be able to do a good job, right? So the criteria that we said that one could utilize or could employ to identify the target market are these 5 criteria. We have it in this context. I told you before, we can call this market segmentation, right? Segmenting the market into different profiles, right? We talk about the age difference, right? Like I told you before, age, it matters a lot. You must know the age composition of your target market. If your target market are Gen Z, like you guys, we should be able to know, or the business owner or the marketer should be able to know what interests you and how to get hold of you. Right. That is why it's good for you to know the target market in terms of age. Like we have it here. Different things interest us at different stages of life, which is obvious. Then income, the level of income, it matters a lot too because people with high income that got money, right? They don't worry about the price. When you are dealing with those type of people, your problem is not about the price; it's quality, how to get hold of them. But when you are dealing with people, their pocket is very flat. You see, what they think about, first of all, is the price. Right. For example, if you are someone that doesn't have money, when you walk into a shop, there is something that you like. What would be the first thing that you do? You know what? You check the price. How many of you have done that? Personally, I do it, right? If I see something that I like, the first thing I will do, I will check the price. How much is it? To see whether you can afford it. Right. But if you are somebody that got money, you know the way a poor man do shopping is different from a rich man. As a teacher, how? When a poor man is buying things, must always check the price before he pick the item. When a rich man is buying something, they don't check the price. Oh, I like this. I like this. Then they go there, then to the till they pay. But you poor man, as you are taking something, you are do a better calculation. How much have I how much have I collected so far? Because you are don't want a situation perhaps not to be embarrassed. When you go to the till, they say no, you cannot afford to pay this. Or when they add up, you say I don't have much money. Right. So yeah, there is a difference. You as a business owner, as a marketer, it will be good for you to know the level of income of your target market so that you know how to deal with it. Then education. Education, it matters a lot as well. Right. You know, when you are doing business or if you want to market to people that are educated, it's quite different the way you pose yourself if you are marketing to people or selling to people that are uneducated. Do you understand what I mean? Right. Then location, it matters a lot in terms of convenience, right? Then the gender, also the same. I don't want to waste too much time there. Then let's talk about this. Determine customer needs lead to business idea, right? You can as well look at the needs of the customer, right? From the needs of the customer, it can provide you a kind of a business idea, right? For example, you can walk into a mall. I'm trying to expatiate on this one now. Sources of business idea. Let me put it that way. There are different sources of business idea where business idea can generate from. Let me put it that way. You can walk into the mall, then you see what people are buying, and you look at what people are selling, they are selling there. And your mind can inform you that, but this particular item is not here. That one can generate a business idea for you. True or false? Obvious, it's true, right? Or you can read news, you can watch news, right? From the news you've watched, you can generate a business idea from it. Oh, this is what is happening in country, so country. But why can't I try it here? Perhaps if I try it here, I'm gonna make money. You start it, you make money. Do you understand what I mean? You can travel overseas. Perhaps you go to states. Then you see there are certain commodity items they are using there that is not in South Africa. You can introduce it, right? It's a source of business idea. You start making money, right? So determine customer needs, right? By observing and be able to appropriately determine the needs of the customer can lead to a business idea. For example, where you know that, let's say, remember when we started here, there was no restaurant. Remember, early part of the year when we started, there was no restaurant. Most of you were going out, right, to buy food. Okay, there was a need, right? That one could have spoiled you, right, to start bringing food to sell in the campus. I think I even made mention of it that time, right? So from that need, you can be able to generate idea. We got different types of customers' needs, right? You go for food, for clothing, for security, whatever needs. Then you can leverage, we call it leverage that opportunity. Because needs provide a kind of opportunity for you, a business person, to make money. Do you understand what I mean? Like, I've given you an example of COVID before. You know how many billionaires were made during the time of COVID? More than ever before. Billionaires. Where people were crying, dying. Some people were becoming richer and richer. You see, they leverage the opportunity. Right. So now let's talk from, yeah, it's the same needs, right? Product or services. Once are expressed, okay. Once are expressed, because when are expressed, once are needs expressed in a specific product. We've done this one before, right? Then why do customers choose a specific product? Right. Why do customers choose a specific product? There are certain influencing factors that makes customer to say, I like this, right? I don't want this one, I want this. Why? There are certain factors. For example, taste. Some people can say, okay, remember, we always says people have got different tastes and preferences, right? You've got your own taste and preferences. Personally, I've got my own taste and preferences. You like KFC? Yeah, I don't like KFC. Right? How many of you love eating KFC food there? KFC. How many of you? You like KFC? You are allergic. Did you see? Right. Yeah. Okay, let's take that. Let's take that. She's allergic to it. Right? So she don't like buying from there because of you can classify it as taste, right? It's not her type. Do you understand what I mean? But once you see the ones that she likes that is of her own taste, then she can buy. So all these are determining factors, right? Quality. People buy a product, right? Or purchase a service or procure a service, let me put it that way, because of quality. Just because of quality, because it lasts long time. Do you understand what I mean? But what I can tell you is this: quality of a product or a service is a function of the cost. You cannot say something of good quality that is cheap. Am I true of us? It's very difficult to say something is very of a good quality, high standard, but it's cheap. It's a low price. It's very rare, right? Unless it is discounted. Discounted. You know what I mean by discounted? With the price reduced, right? Like the other day, I went to buy nice pens. I look at these pens, I love it, right? Oh, it's what I'm putting on this black pens, right? You see this black pens? It's a very nice pen. It's right, DH, right? This is DH, but you wouldn't know it's DH. This pens, I saw it. I said, I'm looking for a black pensman because all along, you see, I lost appetite for putting on a black pen because there were several times I bought black pens, I washed it until the color went off, right? Then I said, let me give this one a try. Do you understand what I mean? Then I pick it, and this pens has been there for a long time. I've passed the pens several times. Then this time around, I made up my mind. I said, I'm gonna go home with this pen, or rather, this pen is going home with me, right? Now I look at the price. You know, DH ordinarily is money, it's expensive. Some of these pens these days now, they're selling it seven something, eight something. You know what I'm talking about. Right? Now, I checked the price, 400 bucks. Oh man, I said, this is a good price compared to the quality. Then I went away. It was still ringing in my brain. Why not go and pick that pence? Then I came back, took the pence. Then I went to the tea to pay for it. I was asking the guy because I wasn't still sure whether this thing is not going to wash. I asked the guy, I said, can you give me a guarantee? You imagine something that the price have come down. I was still asking of a guarantee. I said, can you give me a guarantee that the color gonna remain like this? He said, this is 100% cotton. It's gonna remain. Then as the guy was trying to, as doing, by the time he scanned it, he told me a very good news. He said the price have even come down. It's now 270 rand. Wow, my. I said the pence now is 270. Then I asked myself, where can I get a good pence like this, 270? Then I told myself, even if I wear it 2 days, it washes off, don't worry again because the price is so low. Right. So what I'm trying to say is good quality is always associated with high price unless it's discounted. Yeah. This one. Yeah. Thanks a lot. I love you for that. Right. Yes, you must always remind me because otherwise it's not gonna know there will be no voice. The one I did before, I made a mistake, I didn't switch it on. So that one is condemned. Yes, I love you for that, right? Keep it up. Yeah. Okay. Reliability. Reliability counts a lot as well. Right? Reliability can be used or it can be explained in different ways. Right. For example, you're using a product. Let me explain it in that context. You're using a product, and that product is good for you, right? And you want a kind of continuity, right? You don't want a situation whereby you've gone to look for that product, is no longer there, or it's no longer being manufactured. Perhaps you're using the product, or let's say it's a perfume, for example, you're smelling good. Whenever you put all those stuff, people are, you got a lot of flies, clamoring around you. And you like that type of status. All right. Now the product is finished. You've gone back now to replenish it. All of a sudden, they say the product is no longer in the market. What will you do? It's like what happened to me one certain time. I think I told you. There was a cream I was using those days. Very nice cream. What I'm telling you now, it was 2001. 2001. You were still very small then, right? Then, whenever I use this cream, I was smelling very good, you know, and my skin was getting, you know what I mean, right? Lighter. Then I keep on using this stuff. One day I went to look for this cream. The cream was nowhere to be found. I checked one shop, it was not there. I said, what is happening now? I went to another shop. I was looking for it. 1 week, I was looking for this cream. This cream wasn't there. One day, then I asked somebody in the shop. I said, man, come here. I've got a problem. He said, what is the problem? I said, there is a particular cream I'm looking for. What is the name? They used to call it Dawn. Not this Dawn they have now. There was another one before. That guy said they've stopped manufacturing that product. It was like you poured me very icy water. I said, so that product is gone, right? So, something of that nature, if there is no reliability of such product or of such service, right, you wouldn't like. But in a situation where you know that no matter what, that thing is there, then you're going to venture yourself, say, I want to be using this product. That is what context. Here, we are talking about delivery. Their deliveries are always on time. You're dealing with a business, right? That business is constant. No matter what, they deliver to you, right? But when you need something, and you know a company that are not punctual in their delivery or are always at fault most of the time, you would not like to choose that company, right? That is what we are talking about. You would not like to deal with that company. Then cost, of course, cost is a function. The decision that we make to buy food or to buy certain items, to procure certain item or services is hinged mostly on the cost. The price is anchored, anchored, is anchored on the price. Most especially if you don't have a high level of income. You look at the price, right? Don't drag this on long. It's gonna make noise. Then when you are listening to it at home, you can't be able to understand it. Then status. It is really cool product to wear. Some people like status, man. Prestigious stuff, right? For example, you like to buy what is we see your shoe, your Takis. What is this? Nike or what? Huh? Sorry. If I ask you the price of this thing now, then I'm gonna hold my head. How much is it? 2.5. You see, because when you wear this thing now, you make it's cool for you, right? That is why you bought it. It's like that, because you like the status of you like that status. That is why you buy. Because for someone to bring out 2.5 to buy shoes is not easy. But it satisfies your desire, right? So that is what we are talking about. So these are some of the things that make customer to choose a specific product or service, right? Any question? Now, here we're gonna talk about the importance of the brand. Brand. A brand, as we have here, a brand gives a product a personality. A personality, right? Brand, Bokomo, Nike, whatever. Give me names, man. Right? It gives that product a personality, right? Like you got your own personality. You see the way you dress now. Right? When somebody look at you, will respect you. The way you behave, right? You see, you are displaying a kind of a brand that gives you that personality. Do you understand what I mean? Right. So when you see that logo, right, we go crazy, right? Because that one have shows to you that this logo, this product is made by this company, or is associated with this company, or something of that nature. Right. So we said a brand gives a product a personality. So a potential customer wants to be associated with that product brand. Right? Since the customer feel that that specific product will satisfy his or her needs. Right. Then we want to talk about why do you need a logo? Why do you need a logo? Right? We need a logo, for example, right? To help you build an image. To build an image, right? For example, when you see the logo of, okay, let me use the logo of varsities now, because one of these days you are aspiring, you aspire one of these days to attend higher education, to attain a degree at university level, right? When you see the logo of UCT, right? You compare it with the level. I'm not saying university are not good, but I'm being realistic, right? Logo of University of Limpopo, right? I'm not saying Limpopo. Are you from Limpopo? Yeah. You see, but when you look at it, a brand name, brand logo, you see that you will like to go for UCT. Not the name is not there, it's just the logo. You see what I mean? So what we are trying to say is a logo, it is used to display the image, right, of a business. So a logo help you to build an image and a brand of your product that is bigger than yourself. So it makes you memorable, right? It makes your business memorable because there are certain people, 40% of the people, they like seeing, they believe in visuals, right? So logo helps to bring out that visuals. That's one thing I'm also explaining. Okay, here is just for our own consumption sake as well, or for our knowledge sake. Look at these brands, 10 top coolest brands, right? What is this? Levi's, right? Coca-Cola, Adidas, right? Nokia. You see, that is why people are faking the product. You know, there are some people, they print t-shirt, they say they put fake Adidas. People will still buy from them because of the personality that is being portrayed, right? By this name Adidas. They will think it's the genuine Nokia, right? Those days there used to be Nokia phone, but I don't know what happened. Somehow, somewhere along the line, it disappeared into the thin air. I don't know why they couldn't continue making. Do we still have Nokia phones? Okay, compared to Samsung, Samsung have dethroned them. Nokia used to be number one, but somehow, somewhere, I don't know what happened. Then the Korean boys, they were able to flush them out, topple them to become number one. BMW, right? I used to hear people calling this one "Be My Wife." I don't know. Yeah, Billabong, you know. I used to have a guy those days. He was always crazy of this brand, Billabong. You see, DSTV. I don't know why do you have DSTV come into play here, but anyhow, let's respect the position of DSTV here. Vodacom, right? Nike. Why no? Is this classification? Is this something real? How could DSTV and Nike be under Vodacom? But I don't know how they used to. What yardstick was used to classify this iPod? But you know what I'm talking about, right? So now let's talk about this. Very interesting. Let's talk about it. We've done this before. We've talked much about this before, but let's see what we can learn from it. Factors influencing the buy pattern of customers. Huh? Ask this. Yeah. Price, product, of course, the quality, right? The price, the cost, the promotion, the place, right? So these are the things that influences the buying pattern, right? So you as a marketer, you need to take into consideration, right? All these things in terms of knowing what product to produce or to provide for sales, your the price you need to sell it, and of course the different strategy, promotional strategy that you could employ, right? Personal selling, of course, you could embark a process of personal selling. You know, personal selling, selling from door to door, right? You could do personal selling, right? Then you could embark on, you could advertise. You know how to advertise. You advertise your product. These days, there are various medium through which you can advertise. You can perhaps use social media, TikTok, right? WhatsApp, right? What else? You know it. Facebook, Instagram, right? Ask this. Socks. I know there are a lot of social media these days, man. Uncountable. Telegram, of course. WhatsApp. You know, you know more than me. As far as social media is concerned, you know more than me. You can teach me that. Right. Those days we used to advertise. We used to make use of flyers. You know flyers. Flyers. I don't see flyers these days. Flyers, right? Radio, radio. You don't listen to radio. Do you listen to radio? Right? You don't. Right. So what actually, in terms of the product, right? What actually influences people to buy a product or a service, or what actually influences people's decision? Well, they look at the features, the features. You understand what I mean by features? The looks, right? They look at the design, how that thing looks. It makes people to buy a product. For example, BMW, when people look at it, some people look at the features, right? Some people, besides the features, they look at the benefits, what they are going to benefit, or rather, to put it more simply, what they stand to benefit from the product. So those things can inform the decisions, right? Okay. Now, they say if you are a marketing, okay, let me check here. Now, product, as we said, are one of the manufacturing effort. Why do customer want to buy a specific product? Right? We talk about the features, 24 ultra wide screen, for example. People look at the future, how wide it is big. You can be able to see the image, in a more clearer way, maximum resolution. We are talking about this one, right? As an example of a feature. Right. So these are the associated feature with this product that could perhaps, by virtue of features, persuade people or convince people, if you will, to buy this product. Right. For example, when I was buying my bigger screen, I consider features as well too, because it's big. I can sit far away and look at the image, those kind of stuff. Then maximum resolution, of course, got maximum resolution. You know, I remember those days, the TV that we used to watch in the rural area. Most of us are coming from rural area, right? I won't deceive you. If you see somebody say it's coming from the city, perhaps that person is talking lies. Most of us are from rural area. I remember those days during Christmas, there's a guy that used to bring TV, from the city to the rural area. The guy will come and switch on the TV. We were kids those days. Then we sit down, start watching like this, looking for the image. It is you cannot even hear anything. You cannot even see the image clearly, right? Bad resolution. But these days, you see how TV, how clear it is. When you see your image on the TV, it looks even more. The way it shows, you start wondering, right? Am I so handsome like this? It makes you to be photogenic. You know what we mean by being photogenic? Photogenic. When somebody take your picture, you see yourself on the picture, you think that you say, do I look so handsome like this? You know, all those kind of stuff. There are people that are photogenic. Yeah. Okay. Quick response time and all those stuff. So what am I explaining there? What could motivate people to buy a product based on the futures, right? Some people could go look after benefits, right? Easy to read document, no waiting, look great, right? You don't look about the future. The future is the physical aspect of it, right? Then the benefit, what you can derive from using the product. So those are the things that influences people to buy a product, right? In terms of their own consideration. Then pricing. Pricing has a huge effect on customer buying pattern. Of course, do customer buy mainly on price, or do customers seek quality and worry less about price? It depends. Depends on your pocket, right? It's relative. For example, those people that are much concerned about price. Younger checkers, right? The ones that are quality focused, quality oriented, they prefer to do their shopping worldwide, right? Here you have a free range chicken, free range. Have you tasted a free range chicken before? I love it. It's very nice, right? Then here you have those chicken they put in the cage, right? Those ones, most especially the chicken, they are selling in ShopRite. It's too soft. I've complained about this several times. I said, my friend, why can't you look for better chicken to put here, right? I love food lovers. You know, food lovers, their chicken. Their chicken is very nice, right? So that is the stuff. Then place is another thing that you can use to compete. Place is where the marketing place is where of the marketing effort. So as we have it here, we say the success of a business often depend on where it is located, which is uh, it's a fact. Convenience, right? Convenience for people to come in to buy. So it makes this shop or the business to be able to attract customers. So, for example, if you are a gym member, wouldn't you like to get a healthy drink as soon as possible after the workout? Of course, instead of you going out to buy from somewhere else, if it is readily available in the place, as a matter of convenience, you like to buy from there. So, place is another good example. Is the period over? Okay. Guys, we're gonna stop here. Tomorrow, we just have to go through this. Right. Not yet. Not yet. Don't worry, we're gonna look for it. Yeah, so I will upload the video tonight. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Yeah, please subscribe and make sure you like the video. So subscribe. I said, you're gonna come tomorrow. There is another script now for that guy that we are trying to look for now. Yeah, yeah. All right. Chop chop. All right.